Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope you're having a lovely day. So today I'd like to discuss a company that has been a staple of this channel for a portion of 2019. By far, the most successful and most watched and most entertaining videos in this channel, which is not what I had planned, were real estate videos, where I would take a little Bosch tool and I would measure spaces that realtors said were 1,800 or 2,000 or 4,000 square feet, see that they were only 830 or 850, and then laugh in front of them. And Bosch kind of became, like one of the, quote, unofficial sponsors of this channel. So many people asked if I was getting paid by them for this series because I would always have my little Bosch there. And somebody emailed me today about their experience dealing with Bosch when it came to electric bicycles. Now, I know Bosch to be a company that cares about the quality of engineering and cares about the quality of their products. That's why I purchased that little Bosch laser measuring tool when I did to do that series. And it is unfortunate and disappointing to see how it is they are dealing with right to repair when it comes to certain products of theirs. Now, as many of you know, I'm a bit of an e-bike aficionado. I've enjoyed building many of my own e-bikes. I've clocked over 2,000 miles in the one that I have now, and I have another one that I've had since 2018 that still, knock on wood, is rideable today. And Bosch creates e-bike kits, and they also create just full products. And this is an email that I received from one of their customers. Dear Lewis, this is just a bit of an addition to the anti-right to repair Hall of Shame. Maybe. I know you're busy, but I thought I would contribute a bit of evidence for the right to repair case. I'm a fellow e-bike enthusiast, and I recently had to fit some accessories to my e-bike that has a Bosch system installed in it. In my case, it's a GPS tracker and a phone charging system. The documentation is possible to come by online, but the programming tools, well, I am yet to have the luck to find those. Even a simple cable for the 12-volt aux port on the motor is something one has to go through a dealer for. You cannot just go in and buy it in a shop or online. They have to business order it in, and there is no way for a random person like me to get a hold of the programming or debugging tools for it. So, parts? Yes. So far, at least I only needed that cable, which is not cheap, by the way. Not sure if I could get a cogwheel to that motor should it strip them. There are quite a few in there. Documentation? Sort of. It's on issuu.com, but not downloadable, and if at any point they remove it, it is gone. Of course, people on the internet have already hacked it. No schematics, though. Debugging and programming software? No way in hell. One can buy third-party unlocker chips from people who have already hacked it for their own business, but no diagnostics for you, no nothing. If the bike says emergency mode, you must take it to a dealer. So I thought I would register at their dealer portal, which is free to get access to the manual in a downloadable form, or maybe even a printed version legally, and see what I can do with the software. They refused my registration as I am no dealer, and this is why it triggered me. So if ever anything would go wrong with my Bosch Performance Line CX system, I would need to involve a dealer, which is a rip-off at the best of times and a crazy pain in the ass and long wait times during the last 2 years of the pandemic. They are simply overwhelmed with sales, let alone repairs. Most German companies I feel operate in a similar manner. They bottleneck their businesses with the dealer network quite a bit. Having said that, the Bosch system for e-bikes is amazing to use, and I hate to see them being this closed about it. If I was a dealer, I would have to go through their courses that would cost me loads, and you have to buy a starter set of tools from them like some MLM. I feel like the John Deere uses a little bit. So moral of the story, become authorized, and you have to do as we say, or not, you will not have access to tools. See their forwarded email. And their email in response to him is, hello. This portal is intended exclusively for professional users who are either A, trained bicycle mechanics or hold a similar qualification, or who employ a person with such qualification, and B, those who run a professional bicycle repair shop. This is necessary in order to ensure the correct handling of our products. Unfortunately, we were not able to identify you as a professional user, as you have not provided evidence of the above qualification or do not meet our predefined workshop criteria. For this reason, it is not possible to admit you into the portal. Do keep in mind that many of these e-bikes have codes. Again, if you want to be able to fix any sort of basic fault with it or troubleshoot a basic fault, you have to plug it in and you have to see what it says. Now, put this in contrast to something like a BBS HD, which you can get from many different websites, or a phase runner motor controller that you could get from ebikes.ca. To be clear, I just want to be clear before I begin this video. A, everything I have purchased from the above two vendors I have purchased at full retail price. B, they have never paid me for a sponsorship or a shout out on this channel. ebikes.ca has a controller that's based on the I believe ASI BAC 800 or BAC 855, the phase runner, and this controller that they sell, they will actually give you access to all of the details, all of the manuals. You can buy any one of their harnesses, anything that plugs into this, they sell on their website, whether we are talking about any sort of connector, whether we're talking about a power cable, whether we're talking about the cable that you use to program it and get the error codes out of it, the screen you use for it, the wiring adapter to attach it to numerous different motors, and they also have the software suite available as well. So if you want to reprogram the controller, you're welcome to. If you want to adjust the PID loop, if you want to adjust in proportional gain or integral gain, because integral gain at the default is ripping all your chains. So you want to lower it from 200 to something like 5 or 10, so it doesn't put as much pressure on your chain and stall your motor at the expense of some speed and power. You're welcome to do that. They welcome you to do all of that, and they will actually support you via email. This is a company that I would purchase from even when the products cost more than everybody else, not because they sponsor me, not because they pay me, but because they treat me like a human being. And they have, thousands and thousands of customers that are very happy with their service. If you take a look at a motor like the one that I use on my electric bicycle, it's called the BBS HD. It's not the best motor in the world. It's just a basic thing over here that's pretty easy to install. You can go to a site like california-ebike.com, a site I've also done business with numerous times in the past. I always pay retail price, I never ask for a discount, and I have never been offered money to talk about them. If you want to buy the rotor because the rotor is broken, you can purchase it. If you want to buy the nylon gear because it broke, you can buy that. If you want to buy a rotor bearing, you can buy that. They have all of the different parts here that you'll ever need, and they even have different guides on the differences between the new rotors and the old rotors and why they are more durable on the new models, and it's pretty cool. And this is all very doable. This is all basic stuff, and it's one of the reasons that when I buy an electric bicycle, I simply do not have the option to buy a pre-built, because if I buy a pre-built, I am like, again, if there's an issue, I don't know, let's say, it's tugging the chain too hard, I want to lower the integral gain, I can't do that. If there's an error code with my current one, I can plug it into the computer and see why it is flashing a light at me, and then figure out what's going on, which I have before numerous times. With these, I cannot, and I've also gone over how to do this with you on this channel. So I've disassembled one of these motors for inspection after motor stalls. I was having issues after going through areas that had high levels of salt water in them. Again, I have 30-minute to 3-hour-long videos taking them apart to clean them, because every now and then you'll hear some clanking, or some sort of salt or rock or junk will get in there, and every now and then it just makes sense to clean it up and re-lube everything on the inside. And it's nothing that's crazy. Now, I know what you're going to be thinking. Lewis, haven't you had a bicycle go on fire? Yes, I have, and I posted the entire video of it here for all to see. I had purchased a battery from a company called Unit Pack Power. I had spent several hundred extra dollars because I wanted to get premium cells. I requested the Samsung 35E, and here's a big surprise for me. Sometimes when you buy stuff from China, they send you stuff that is lower quality than what you asked for. All of the bicycles that I have built using batteries from a company called EM3EV have been absolutely positively amazing. Their build quality is second to none. I've gone over them on this channel a couple of times. I'll just bring up a video here where I actually tore apart one of their batteries just to show you how well they are put together over here. This is an EM3EV battery. Every single bicycle dating back to 2018 that I've put together, 100% of them with EM3EV batteries, still works today, still functions and is great. And the one that I have right now, I have gone over the build that I have over here. It's clocked almost 2,000 miles at this point, and it is still kicking. I've actually taken it on several long trips. This is a trip that was about almost an hour and a half. I took it about 30 miles. I had a passenger on the back. That bike can actually do 300 miles in a single charge, 200 miles if I have a passenger, and I still use it to this very day for all of the videos that I do when I'm in New York City utilizing an electric bicycle. The idea that you can't get access to an error code because you're not a professional, in my opinion, is insane, particularly when you're spending thousands upon thousands of dollars on a system. And it demonstrates something that I talk about on this channel all the time. That, again, one of the most common comments that I get on this channel is just don't buy Apple. If you don't buy Apple, you have fixed the problem altogether. Just don't buy Apple products, problem solved. And I think what people are missing is that this is something that has really just kind of encroached everywhere. It's not just laptops and cell phones, it's not just tractors, it's not just cars, it is not just appliances, it's not just medical equipment, it is everywhere, and it is infesting everything. If you're buying, and the thing that pisses me off the most about this is that electric bicycles are so cool. Again, if you live in an area with high traffic, if you're in San Francisco, if you're in Chicago, if you're in Brooklyn or Manhattan or any part of New York City, it can take you an hour to get someplace with a car, when it will take you 24 minutes to make that same trip on an electric bicycle. They are able to get around things. When you have standstill traffic where literally no cars are moving, you could just go to the side of the road and go. It is an amazingly efficient way to get around. It is very good when it comes to environmentalism and climate change. Even electric cars, you're looking at somewhere around, I don't know, like 160 to 350 watt hours a mile. if you're lucky and you're driving like a grandma. And on one of these electric bikes, you can easily do 10 watt hours a mile, 20 watt hours a mile. And even if you want to ride like Evel Knievel, you're not going to top 46 watt hours per mile. They are very, very efficient. It's a very efficient way to get around. It's a lot more fun than dealing with public transportation or sitting in traffic in a car. And one of the things that people are going to care about is, when I buy this thing that costs $4,000 to $6,000, will I be able to maintain that system myself without having to deal with weeks upon weeks of downtime because there's a flashing red light? When I have a flashing red light, I can log in and I can see sensors are miscalibrated. And then the phase runner will which is based on, I believe, backdoor software from ASI, will actually show me, we're getting readings from these sensors, we're not getting a reading from this hall sensor. And I can then look at the hall sensor harness, see that the hall sensor wire harness has a cut in it. I could fix it up with, tie it back together, use some heat shrink, use a crimp, or if I want to, actually, do the right thing and splurge and get a new wire from a website that will actually sell me a new wire. Now, imagine if something happens to this wire on the bicycle. If something happens to this wire, why should you have to go to a dealer and leave the bike there for several weeks because they won't sell you a wire? Like, stuff like that is just incredibly aggravating. And somebody, even an idiot like me, can figure this out. And Paul will tell you, I am no mechanic. This is the type of thing that I believe 20 or 30 or 40 years ago, we would never have accepted, yet we accept it in every single field right now. And personally, I believe that that is unacceptable. I think it is unacceptable the degree to which we have traded freedom for this false sense of security. And I do believe it is a false sense of security. I do not believe we are any more secure. I do not believe that we are any more safe as a result of not being able to control what we do with what we own. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And again, shout out to California e-bike, as well as ebikes.ca, also known as Grin Technologies, for every single time I've been their customer, treating me with dignity, with respect, with not selling me crap that I cannot get error codes from, not selling me junk that I'm not able to get parts to. Anytime I've needed parts to a Bafang motor, I can go to California e-bike. They have everything that I need. Anytime I have a problem with that controller, I can email somebody, I can talk, I can buy the wiring harnesses, I can buy everything that I need to program it, and I can plug it in. It'll just tell me, oh, there, we have all these readings from these, but nothing from Hall 4. And then I could look at the Hall 4 wire and go, oh, that got chewed up by something. Let me replace it. And I can just log on there and spend 20 bucks. And also thank you to EM3V for when I buy batteries and I ask for 35 E-cells, actually selling me 35 E-cells rather than some no-name shit that goes on fire outside of my place. Oh my god. Unit Pack Power actually did a response video to me where they claimed I was using a 30 amp bridge rectifier when I specifically linked them to a 100 amp bridge rectifier. Oh my god. It is such a horrible company. They're such absolute lying pieces of shit. Anyway, I just want to say shout out to those three companies for always providing excellent service. And if you are looking for any sort of e-bike project, the people at ebikes.ca will actually walk you through it. If you email them, they'll make suggestions based on what would fit your budget, what would fit your particular skill level. If you have a higher skill level, you may want to get something that's a little bit more customizable. If you're a noob like me, you may just want to toss a BBS HD on there with a pre-fit wiring harness and call it a day. That's about it for today. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know if you think this trend is going to continue, or if you're one of those people that really just believes if we just stop buying Apple, that this will go away and that you'll get your freedom back. See you in the next video. Bye now.